Join Nordo and KFAN for a Team USA watch party this Friday at Dugarel's in Hastings.
Oh, wait. That's the
Catch USA versus Australia, kicking off at 2 p.m. with games, prizes, and drink specials. While cheering on the red, white, and blue, we'll see you at Dugarel's in Hastings this Friday, too.
Couple 13-14 pass time common. East 10 and B. Noon hour in the books. What an hour it was, too. I don't think it qualifies for best of. I don't think Tenneby's going to go, boy, we got our next vacation hour. There we go. We're locked and loaded now.
What if you and I were both to miss a day and the program director forgot that we were off? Would they qualify for best of then?
Yeah, think about that. I guess it would. Pretty much anything would. Dog with a note in his mouth could sell the Fan. And by the way, if you're an advertiser or a business that you'd like to advertise on the Fan, marketing at KFAN.com. Marketing at KFAN.com. Time now for 534, brought to you by...
Time now for 5 questions. Well, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Brought to you by Willow River Company.
Question number 1. It's time now for multiple choice.
What is the A topic from the Twins' win last night in Texas? A, right-hander Mike Paredes gave up 2 runs on 4 hits over 4 2/3 innings.
That's considered good.
Well, for a Twin starter, yes.
Yeah, I got it.
B, Josh Bell hit a 3-run homer in the first inning. C, Byron Buxton hit a solo homer, his 6th home run in his past 9 games, and his 23rd on the season, just 1 shy of the Major League lead. Or D, the bullpen recorded 13 outs while giving up 1 hit and 0 runs.
Not. You're making that up. You're just doing
no runs.
That. You threw that in there to see. I wonder if Common's paying attention to the Twins at all. But you threw that in there. I'm supposed to take that. There's no way. What was those numbers again?
The Twins bullpen recorded 13 outs. They gave up just 1 hit, no runs.
Wow.
You've got to be kidding me.
That's a bullpen. Now, if they could just duplicate that, triplicate that, quadrillate that, quintillate that, it'd be nice, but I don't think that's in them. The Buxton,
sextillate it?
Yeah, sextillate it. Yoga pants press, sextillate. The Buxton, you have to, is Aaron Judge hurt? Did I see that, or is that from a different season? Who leads the league? Is it Ohtani? Who leads the league in home runs? And by the way, is this Major League Baseball or just the American League?
MLB.
Wow. Go, Byron, go.
Kyle Schwarber of Philadelphia and
He can play.
Yordan Alvarez for Houston both have 24.
24. Well, we got a message, Byron Buxton, Twins fans, for those 2 individuals.
Objects in your mirror may be closer than they appear.
I was going to say Buxton, but that gets wiped right off the headline when you have a bullpen that went. Can you repeat those numbers again? Because I'm not sure I heard you.
They recorded 13 outs, 0 runs, 1 hit.
It's astonishing.
Buxton, by the way, 1 home run behind Alvarez and Schwarber, but he's played 7 less games than Schwarber and 11 less games than Alvarez. So, on a per-game basis, he's the best home run hitter in the league.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to start calling him Bomba Squad +1. That didn't make any sense.
How about Bomba Buxton?
Oh, I
or
like
Bomba
that.
Byron?
I like that. Bomba Byron. La ba 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 Bomba Bomba Byron. Ba 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 Bomba. That should be his walk-up music.
Question number 2.
It's time now to consider the course.
Is that a duck in the background there? What is that?
Might be my swing.
Oh, yeah, it is a little rusty, isn't it?
The 126th U.S. Open begins Thursday at Shinnecock Hills Golf Club in Southampton, New York. Common, which of the following notable groups would you be most interested in following? Would it be Brooks Koepka, Cameron Young, Chris Gotterup?
Giddy up, Gotterup.
Rory McIlroy, Ludwig Oberg, Tommy Fleetwood. Scotty Scheffler, J.J. Spahn, Mason Howell. He's an amateur.
Yeah, the amateur.
Aaron Rai, Colin Morikawa, Jason Day. Bryson DeChambeau, Victor Hovland, Matt Fitzpatrick. Justin Thomas, Hideki Matsuyama, Xander Schauffele. Or Jordan Spieth, John Rahm, Justin Rose.
How about Romo, Schmaltz, Smoltz, yes, Schmaltz. I say Schmaltz.
Yeah.
How about Romo, Smoltz, and Thielen? I'd rather watch
That's what Chris Hockey would rather see.
I'd rather watch those three play than I'd watch the final round of the Masters. That's how excited I am about that. It's always fun to watch Scotty Scheffler, especially if he berates his caddy again. What a Richard. It's caddy's fault. Why don't you throw some grass up in the air? Why don't you bend over? Pick up some grass, throw it up in the air, and see which way the wind.
Look at the trees.
Yeah.
Look at the flag.
Yeah. Look at your pants fluttering in the breeze. I mean, it's all his fault, isn't it? Is Sponzi, did you say, playing with him? Defending champ? Who's Sponzi?
Oh, yeah. Scheffler, Spahn, and then an amateur, Mason Howell.
I love Sponzi. I just love it. He seems, he just seems like a regular guy. You know, he just never gets too high, never gets too low. Maybe that Fleetwood group. I like watching Fleetwood, though. I think he's kind of overhyped a little bit, right? He's only won once on the PGA Tour. Now, I don't think he plays a complete schedule because he's doing European Tour stuff. But who else was with him? McIlroy?
McIlroy, Oberg, Fleetwood.
Yeah, I think that's a really good group because it's always fun to watch Rory play. Roars. And, sorry. I love Oberg. He just doesn't seem to be able to close the deal. He's slowly becoming best player never to win a major because he always seems to be in the bigger events, and maybe I'm just misremembering. He always seems to be near the top of the leaderboard. He's always flirting with it. He's had the lead on occasion. I mean, if you watch, was it 3 years ago in the Masters until he rinsed one on 11? He was right there. I think in the Players this year he was right there. So I think that's a good group to watch. How about you? Is there one that you prefer out of those?
I would have gone with that group until the very end when I saw Spieth, Rahm, Rose.
Oh,
I like Rose. He's one of my favorite golfers.
Too.
Spieth, not the golfer he once was, but I think out of all of them, he's the one who kind of talks the most and chatters with his caddy, and you can hear their conversations. Yeah. And I always find that to be at least interesting. And then,
Ramsey,
yeah, he's a quality player.
That is a good group. Yeah, that is a good group. I'd take one of those too.
Question number 3.
It's time now for What's Your Rank? A 10 hut!
Since 2002, more than 24 NFL teams have gone from worst in their division to first in the division the following season. So Aaron Schatz of ESPN.com ranked the NFL teams most likely to go from worst to first this season. At number 1, he has your Detroit Lions. He has the Saints at 2, Giants at 3, Titans at 4, Vegas at 5, Jets at 6, Browns at 7, and Cardinals at 8. Common, do you agree with these rankings? And are the Lions the most likely to go from worst to first this year?
What do you think of that? Before they restore. The Lions are a terrible team and a terrible city. What do you think of the Lions now? A terrible stadium. A terrible uniform. Terrible tribute.
Stand up, Ford Field! Stand up! Well, that's sort of an easy one because you would think they would. I underestimated, and I'll admit I was wrong. I thought Ben Johnson leaving. I mean, certainly it means you have to kind of we kind of sort of have a different approach to how our offensive system. But I thought, well, can't you kind of replicate what he did? I mean, did he leave his playbook behind? Did he leave the menu there? I mean, can't you just take that and go, hey, look at this? This is a pretty good, just hand it to your offensive coordinator and go, do this. Just do what Ben Johnson did. Watch all the film of those 2 years when all we did was win football games, get to the NFC Championship game, and then go 15-2. And whatever plays he called, you call the same ones. When they lost him, they lost a lot because that team was just. I've told you this. I look at Deuce and I watching the game. I see Campbell, flop sweat coming from his brow. He's staring at his play sheet, and I look at Deuce. I say, Dan, the answer's not on that play sheet, man. It's just not. It's in Chicago. It's Ben Johnson. But they have a lot of, skill position players that are good. They've retooled their offensive line. They've got a rookie. I think they're going to play. Penny's over on the left tackle, which I didn't realize. This is how little I pay attention. When he played for Oregon, he played left tackle for us. So it's not like he hasn't played there before. So he'll play there. They've added a couple of defensive pieces, and including a rookie edge rusher that should help the team on paper. So, yeah, I mean, of all the teams that went last, I would say the Lions would be, Yeah, you could.
I think they're the obvious choice.
They're the obvious. That's exactly right.
It does look like a lot of bad teams, though.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if there's an obvious second choice. I probably, where they have 2 and 3, Saints and Giants, I probably would agree with that. Just Saints aren't going to be that good, but I think that, they're in the weakest division. I think the Giants might be a little sneaky in the East this year. I think that they got John Harbaugh as their coach now. I think they're going to just be more of a professional team, fix the trenches a little bit.
You like that Jackson Dart kid?
I don't know if I like Jackson Dart. That's the part that's holding me back, because I didn't think he was great last year, but he's still young, and now I feel like they've improved what's around him at least.
Yeah.
So, but I just think from a coaching standpoint alone, I think the Giants are going to take a jump up.
Yeah. Well,
but when I saw Titans at 4, I'm like, man, because I think they got no shot. But you look at the list behind the Titans, and well, those teams are all bad too.
Yeah, and
the Cardinals ain't going to win the NFC West.
No, not a chance. And it's not often a team does go from worst to first. I don't know.
Well, it happens quite a bit. That's why I brought it up. I mean, since 2002, it's happened more than 24 times. So basically one every year is a worst to first.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I was just waiting for my turn to talk. Sorry.
And that's it for today's edition of 5 Questions. Well, actually, 3 questions, but 5 sounds like more than 4.
Brought to you by the Willow River Company, your outdoor living experts. They're a family-owned operation, and they want you to join the family. They treat you like family. They do it all for your landscaping needs. They got over 10 arborists on staff that'll take a look at your tree and say it needs to come down or needs some weed and feed, maybe needs to be trimmed. Maybe we need to eliminate some of those Dutch elm beetles. And then they'll weed and feed they'll weed your garden. They'll fertilize your lawn. They'll mow your lawn. They do this other thing, which is really cool. My wife loves this. They have, planters with flowers that you put on like your steps. And they swap them out like every few weeks. It's so cool. You get a whole brand of flowers, and my wife's just delighted. And Tenby, what do you say about what you're saying about
happy wife, happy life?
And right now, my life is really happy. We'll break. We'll come back. By the way, WillowRiverCompany.com. WillowRiverCompany.com. More controversial Vikings news on the side of the break. And what time does Lee Westwood tee off? We'll let you know here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
The Common Man.
Now.
KFAN welcomes some great shows to Treasure Island this year, including Gabriel Iglesias.
Feels like the first time.
On July 31st, Joe Bonamassa.
Da 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 da, jingle jangle, la da 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 da.
On August 15th, and Snoop Dogg.
I'm sleeping and right in the middle of a good dream. All at once I wake up for something that keeps knocking at my brain.
On September 5th, get the complete details on all our upcoming shows at the concert page at KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Couple 13, 14 past. I'm Common. He's 10 and B. Here's a couple of controversial text messages.
That's interesting.
Yes, the Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line. This one says, why are people so high on Kyle Murphy? There must be some reason the Cardinals are paying him $30 million to not play for them this year. That's a valid argument, Tenneby. What do you make of that? Do you have an opinion on that? I mean, they've decided enough's enough. We're not going anywhere with this guy. I know he won the Heisman. We selected him number 1 overall. Been to a couple of Pro Bowls, I think, but he just can't get us over the top. And
well, are people that excited about Kyler Murray?
Well,
I mean, I don't think everyone's like, yeah, we got Kyler Murray.
Yeah,
we're going to win the championship. I think everyone, even when they were pursuing quarterbacks in free agency, my take at the time was Kyler, I think, is the best of the bunch just because he is the cheapest and he has the highest ceiling. But there's obviously reasons to be concerned. I mean, the fact that he's in a quarterback competition with J.J. McCarthy and doesn't have the thing outright is cause for concern enough. I don't think everyone's just all in on Kyler and thinks, but you could also pull off the other argument too, right? Like You could have said the same thing about Sam Darnold 2 years ago. And he had a pretty good darn season for us, right? You know, he had played for the Jets, terrible, played for the Panthers, terrible, was a backup in San Francisco, and now he's going to be our starting quarterback. Nobody then was, hey, look at all these teams that gave up on him.
Right.
And he resurrected his career, so it can happen.
It can happen.
Now he's a big game champ.
We talk about, you know, I think most of us, I'll include myself in there, and I think you too. Not the band. We're going to give away Guess Who tickets next week, Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of options there. Let's go with
what are you talking about?
Oasis.
Guess Who?
Okay, so it's not Oasis.
No, it's not. It's Guess Who?
How about Pearl Jam?
Pearl Jam. No, it's not Pearl Jam. It's Guess Who?
I mean, there's thousands of bands out there. How am I?
Say Weezer.
Weezer.
Gesundheit. How
about the band?
What band?
Well, that's my guess, is the band.
So,
I always love that one.
Larry Mondella guy, you need to write a new one.
there were a number of us, and I think you were in on it. You had the same opinion. It's no quarterback competition. You know, my theory was, well, it's probably you have to say that so that McCarthy doesn't get so down on himself and just basically run up the white flag and said, well, it looks like my career's over, and pout. You know, the Wolves got moody. We didn't need our backup quarterback to be pouty. The guy that we selected 10th overall, first-round pick that actually moved up and had anointed him our franchise quarterback before he had an opportunity to prove he was worthy of being the franchise quarterback. Maybe there really is a competition. You know, the coach insisted there is. It is OTA news conference, and he says that will continue during the preseason. Both quarterbacks took about an equal number of reps during OTAs, the voluntary and mandatory part of OTAs, and they both worked with first team. And the coach said that will continue through preseason games, I believe. He said they are going to play preseason games, which is very rare for quarterbacks, but that's when you already have your starting quarterback established. If you're Pat Mahomes, there's no reason to play you in the preseason. You don't want to have that freak injury, you know, in the first quarter of a meaningless game. Some young kid on the opposition is trying to make a name for himself, and he's going to go after the quarterback, and he hits him late, and all of a sudden he's sprawled out with a torn ACL, MCL, FBI, CIA, BBC, BB King, Max Busby, Doris Day, dig it. Then the question's always been, well, if they both are going to play, especially, you know, the guy you think might be the starter in Murray, will they play with other starters? Like, we've never seen Justin Jefferson play. We generally speaking, you don't see the Darisaws of the world play. You don't see the O'Neills. If you have you know, Aaron Jones, if he's your starter, is he still with the club? He's coming back, right?
Yes.
And we still got the guy that was San Francisco.
Jordan Mason, and then they drafted a player that I saw comp to Jahmyr Gibbs the other day.
Oh, come on. Who was that?
Damon Claiborne. They drafted in, I think, the 6th round.
Was that PA or Warren?
No, who gave that comp? It might have been someone on the Vikings, actually. I got to find it now.
That's kind of surprising that somebody that was with the team would hold him in that high regard. I think Tennessee, and I said this from the beginning. I said, even when I believed Kyler Murray was the starter, I believed he would see, even if he was anointed the starter today, I think he still will see preseason time. And I think it doesn't do you any good to have your starting quarterback. Let's say they're going to have Kyler Murray play to see. I know we have those little scrimmages with the Ravens, and those are important, and you learn a lot from those apparently. But I feel like if you're going to play him in the preseason, well, then in the preseason, you got to play him with the starters. You can't just, I mean, if you put him back behind a makeshift line of a bunch of rookies, well, you're going to get them killed. And then if you're with wide receivers that probably don't. If it's that hard for the quarterback to figure out the playbook, what is dopey offensive lineman who just, he's a rookie. How is he going to figure it out? And then you're playing with wide receivers that aren't number one. I think the number ones will play a little bit. Now, I don't think you're going to see Justin Jefferson playing 4 quarters. I think he plays some, though, in the preseason. Do you think that, or do you think there's no chance he'll take the field?
I wouldn't say no chance, but I would bet on that he won't see the field.
I bet you $2.75 he sees action in preseason during the game.
You're on.
Very good. How much do I owe Rosen?
I don't know. You've lost a couple to him now.
I got goaded into that bet by my basketball connection. He said, bet Rosen on Spurs. Then when I told him, he goes, no, but I just wanted you to bet on that game, not on the whole series. Of course, they lost that game anyways. They were up 29 points. So had I just bet on the game, I would have been thinking, boy, I just took Rosen to the cleaners. And then, lo and behold, the Knickerbockers came back.
By the way, it was Aaron Jones who compared him to Jahmyr Gibbs the other day. He said, so I just let him know, hey, it opens and closes a lot faster, but he has the speed to trailblaze and get through there. Honestly, it looks a little bit like Jahmyr Gibbs in terms of that speed and that burst, so I'm excited to see it as well.
If you squint, you can see Honolulu blue and silver in that purple and gold. You really can. Well, we'll see. But so, yeah, I think if it's a real quarterback competition, and maybe it is. And I said all along, yeah, it probably is, but only if McCarthy does look like 9. If he does look like an alter ego. Otherwise, I think it's going to be long. I think the odds are long for him to be the starting quarterback. We'll take a break and come back. We'll tap dance for a half hour. We'll do our best Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Amarian. And then we'll welcome the legendary one, Mark Rosen, into the conversation in Studio A here on the Covenant program on the Fan.
Come hang with KFAN's Justin Guard this Thursday at Maynard's in Excelsior. Enjoy games, drink specials, and chances to win some awesome prizes. The party gets rolling at 6 p.m. See more at KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple 13-14 pastime common. Here's Tennessee. A couple of text messages came in with the same sort of thinking about Kyler. It says, I think Cardinals are doing a complete rebuild. That's why they dropped him. Another says Cardinals want to tank, so get rid of the guy who wins games. I think, is it possible? I don't know these two text messages other than their number, but sometimes could that be, well, you're a fan of the purple and you want him to be right. You want this guy to be the savior, so that's what you're thinking. I mean, even if you're on a rebuild, he's only 7 years into his career. I mean, guys play 15 years. If he was still really good, you'd rebuild around him. You wouldn't just go, well, let's, what is that old saying about throwing out the baby with the bathwater? So if you thought Kyler Murray was still the baby, you wouldn't throw out him and all pieces around him and rebuild. You'd keep him and rebuild around him. And that's not to say that Kyler Murray can't resurrect his career here. To this day, I'll say for what they had to pay for him, God bless the Cardinals wanted to just dump him and eat $30 million worth of salary. I would take the risk as well. Why not? What's the alternative? Run it back with Wentz, McCarthy, and Max Brosmer. I mean, I like it because because we have seen reclamation projects work in the National Football League. Rich Gannon was discarded. He won an MVP. Brad Johnson won with Tampa Bay. Now, albeit that was plenty of defensive help, but I mean, guys do it all the time. Darnold. I mean, we see guys leave. They struggle elsewhere. Kurt Warner didn't he play in the league? Wasn't any good. Went arena, left, retired.
Stock and shelf at the grocery store.
Randall Cunningham was laying tile in Las Vegas. And the next thing you know, he took a knee, and that's part of the reason we lost, but that was on him. That was on the coach. But so it can happen.
I could buy into the Arizona rebuild argument. Okay. One, if there was ever a time to rebuild, it's now, because that division they are in is stacked.
Correct.
Right? I mean, the Rams are probably favorites to win the whole thing. Seattle's coming off a big game championship. San Francisco, when healthy, is always dangerous, right? Like they're not going to get by that division the way their roster is currently constructed. You have a what's supposed to be a very good quarterback draft next year. So if you're ever going to tank, now's the time to tank.
Oh.
And, if they thought you could still win now, I think they would have made a better effort to get a better quarterback other than Kyler, right? If it was, we don't believe in Kyler, we need to upgrade, that's why we're getting rid of Kyler. Well, they didn't go out and upgrade. They stuck with Jacoby Brissett, who's currently asking for a raise, and they're not even going to give him a raise, and Gardner Minshew as their quarterbacks right now. So, I think the rebuild does make a lot of sense.
But would you rebuild without Kyler Murray?
Well, I would say I think there's different levels of quarterback plays that can win, right?
Okay.
Like, Kyler is not an elite quarterback. He has not proven to be a top 5-ish quarterback in this league. I guess he has that ability in him, but he has not shown that he can be a top 5 quarterback. He's probably more in that, what we saw here with Kirk Cousins, that middle of the pack range, where you need to have everything around that player be really, really good to have a chance. And they don't have everything around Kyler right now, or even close.
Let's play Radio Jeopardy. Your answer needs to be in the form of a question, okay?
Okay.
It's often called lazy radio.
What is list radio?
CBS Sports has a list that says Antetokounmpo trade destinations. Final ranking of 12 landing spots from Heat to mystery team. Mystery. It's an enigma or wrapped up in a riddle inside of a fortune cookie. So it has the plausible mystery teams. And it lists Pacers, Clips, Rockets, Hornets, Cavs, Nets, and then the likeliest outcomes. Warriors, Magic, and look at this, Minnesota Timberwolves at number 4.
Oh my gosh.
Here's what it says. Tim Connolly has taken more big swings than almost any other general manager in the National Basketball Association. One way or another, the Wolves need one. Anthony Edwards fits with Antetokounmpo for many of the same reasons Donovan Mitchell would. There was reporting at the deadline suggesting that Antetokounmpo would be interested in Minnesota. The Athletic, The Athletic recently reported that the Timberwolves are holding Jade McDaniels and Juan Beranger out of trade talks. This isn't Connolly's first rodeo. There's no deal without McDaniels, but this is still valuable posturing. The harder Minnesota resists on McDaniels, the likelier it will be that they could at least keep Naz Reid, the sort of shooting big man that is absolutely vital to Antetokounmpo, that is absolutely vital next to Antetokounmpo out of the deal. There are real supporting cast questions here. The Wolves don't have a point guard. Randall, Gobert are odd fits. DiVincenzo is a torn Achilles. There would have to be more changes here, and everyone involved would have to accept that this is as all in as it gets. If they get Antetokounmpo and don't make the finals, they're in real danger of losing Edwards in a few years for many of the same reasons the failed Lillard trade ended the Antetokounmpo era in Milwaukee. This is all or nothing. Are the Wolves prepared to roll that dice? And, that we talked earlier about the, having 2 or 3 megastars on one team. Is that still the way to go? It seems like it worked for a lot of years. And now, as we talked about with Suan's piece today, we kind of dissected that a little bit. And he's not the only one that's thought that way. Others have as well, that, well, maybe there's different ways to skin a cat. Not bodega cat, but just a cat, right? That, you can have a team, it's a well-rounded team. Brunson took a hometown discount. They were able to add some pieces around him. They don't really have any, as we said, bodega might be the closest thing to another superstar on the club. And, and if you already have players, with the Wolves, if you believe the moodiness has a lot to do with, and one of the players said it does, with how many touches a guy gets and how many points. Well, there's only 2 guys that are going to get the touches on this team if Antetokounmpo comes. That's going to be Anthony Edwards and Antetokounmpo. And then Reed will come in as a sixth man. He'll occasionally get a shot. They need a burst off that. DiVincenzo's probably out for a year, right? I mean, he probably won't come back next year. But let's even say he does come halfway or three-quarters of the way through the season. He's already nearing postseason play. Well, then he's going to want his touches. And, how long will it take him to get back into form? I mean, Greg Norman once said, once you're a player, you're a player. I believe once you're a shooter, you're a shooter. So I would think he'd be able to do that. But, I don't know. Do they have to trade McDaniels? Does he become? I mean, he is very valuable, right? As a two-way player, he's really increased his value around the league. People love him. We love him here. He can play defense. He's also
he can chirp.
He can chirp with the best of them.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the Ante. I mean, it sounds fun, right? And I'll say about a possible trade for Antetokounmpo. I just like saying Antetokounmpo because it took me years to figure out how long has he been in the league? 10 years? Let's say it's 10.
Yeah, probably at least.
It took me 9 years to figure out how to pronounce his name. Antetokounmpo. So
you don't just say that Greek kid?
No, I don't say that Greek kid. So Antetokounmpo, am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Antetokounmpo. If you pair him with Anthony Edwards, I'll say the same thing I said when we did a Twins-like, Herschel Walker-like fire sale, and we gave Utah everything they wanted so we could get Rudy Gobert. As bad as this team's in, I'll try anything at this point. And same thing here. We took a step back. We went to back-to-back Western Conference Finals, and this year we didn't get out of the semis. So I'm willing to try anything, and I'm not on the hot seat, so it doesn't matter to me. I might be on the hot seat here for other reasons: lack of interest, lack of preparation, trying to prop up sagging ratings. There's a number
morale
drain. There could be a number bothering other people around the radio station. Think about Swedberg's whole project yesterday was trying to find ways to make annoying employees that are bothering other people trying to work to try to get them to stop. That was his entire. That's what iHeartRadio has him doing right now. So I'm willing to give it a shot, right? Why not? It might be kind of fun.
I think the parallels between the Wolves and the Wild this offseason are quite interesting, that both teams appear to be in the running for big names, right? They're both big game hunting.
Yep.
Wolves with the Greek Freak, Wild potentially with Dylan Larkin, maybe some others down the road if an Austin Matthews were to become available, maybe a Brady Tkachuk. But both teams are in similar spots in that the trades are tough to pull off because the futures that they have are very limited, right? The Wolves gave up so many draft picks in the Rudy Gobert trade. The Wild gave up prospects and draft picks in both the Quinn Hughes and David Juracek trades. Now, that Quinn Hughes one turned out all right. But, the Wild are trying to pull off a big deal without, and they're also in spots like the Wild, they have to trade futures because they don't want to give up current players on their roster. So if there are other teams that want players that can help them win now, that makes it challenging. The Wolves want to bring in a guy like Antetokounmpo without giving too much on their current roster because they're both in spots where you want to add to it, not just, make a one-for-one swap or replacing guys. So they're both kind of a little handcuffed, yet trying to make big swings.
Well, I would say that if you believe the rumors, or at least if these are the players that both teams are interested in acquiring, that the Wolves are actually going for bigger big name hunting because Antetokounmpo has like 13 or 14 letters in his name and Larkin only has 6. So the big name hunting is obviously the Wolves are looking
I always love that
much
one.
bigger name than... See, that's the kind of stuff you won't hear with Jim Rome. Will you hear that from Jim Rome?
You won't hear that from Colin Cowherd?
Will you hear that from Pat McAfee?
No.
Will you hear that from...
National Treasure?
National Treasure. What's the name of... who's the guy that he always said? The guy that played the actor from TV. Well, I can't think of his name. That's where I was...
Tom Selleck?
Yeah. Will you hear that from Tom Selleck? You're not going to get that from Tom Selleck. You're only going to get that from here on the Common Man.
Call back, by the way.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from you.
Hey, I'm a truck driver. Any update on the garbage can? I interrupted a meeting between, think of the heavyweights that were in that room. My good friend, Donnie Lonnquist, Lil B, Abbott, Swedberg, Emily. I think Rich Davis was in
Mitch Davis.
Mitch. They were all in the meeting, and as I was walking by, I held up a garbage can and showed it to Emily, and I was mouthing the words, "It's mine." And then I opened the door and said, "You're interrupting a private meeting," or whatever it says. I said, "Somebody took my garbage can, and this one is mine." I found one in the old construction area.
Ooh.
And it was full of garbage, so I took that and I dumped it into another garbage can, a bigger one, and now I have a garbage.
I was wondering why you're walking in the bathroom today with a separate garbage can.
Well, I thought I might have to throw up during the show today. What I did was there was construction dust on it, and I don't want to bring dust into our brand new area, so I wiped it all down. It's nice and nifty. It is currently under my cube.
Which is great because you spend so much time there.
I was there today.
You have been getting there early.
I was there for about 5 minutes. My favorite is why I now have a carrying case for this is the first, did I talk about this on the air? I have a personal computer for the first time in my life. Company issue.
Oh my gosh, you are personal above average at that.
Of course, Abbott did say, don't go too accustomed to it, because when you get let go, we take it back. That's what he said. Yeah, he gives it to me instead of saying, hey, congratulations, you finally made it. You've got a company issued personal computer, a laptop. Go get him, Tiger. He says, don't get too accustomed to it, because when you get fired, we take it back. It's not yours to keep forever. So, but yeah, I've got one now. I'm kind of excited. So now here's two different lines of thinking. I live in Arizona. Tennis points on Kyler are spot on. He could win them 2 or 3 more games. They don't want that. That could be the difference between the number 1 pick and the number 10 pick. But then this person says, Lake Wobegon baseball guy, and I think Lake Wobegon baseball guy might be correct. See, this is what I'm thinking. He says, Tenneby couldn't be more wrong about the rebuild. You don't eat $30 million in salary for a rebuild. That is a lot of money to eat. I don't know what they're up to in Arizona. My whole point is, he's still young enough that if you think he is the guy, you can still tear down and rebuild and keep him. But maybe they are rebuilding in Arizona. They probably should, because that's a terrible team in a terrible city with terrible fans, a terrible stadium, terrible climate. Unless you like 106 degrees 9 months out of the year. If you like that, and I love hot weather, but I don't want 106. And just, you look around.
Maybe it's possible they don't like Kyler and it's a rebuild.
Well,
it can be both. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
And then, if you ever been to Phoenix, it's just dirt. Everywhere you look, it's dirt and cactus and rocks. And it's just like, I think Phoenix is overrated. I really do. I think Phoenix is overrated.
Oh my gosh, you are above average at that.
I've only been to the airport, never been outside.
Yeah. I will tell you this, though. The one thing I do remember about Phoenix is the warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. And I like when you go on that golf vacation. I take my golf vacations in January because I wanted to be in the dead of winter. Of course, It's never as nice in Phoenix. And I mean, still nice. Trust me, it's still nice there, but it's not that 80-degree weather, because when I'd go there in January, sometimes it'd be, some days it wouldn't get out of the 60s. But when you get off that plane and you've been in frigid weather and you walk out out of the airport, and those sliding glass doors open as you go to get your rental car, to get on the little tram to get the rental car, and that warm air hits you, your troubles are behind you. It's almost
That's a good feeling.
It's almost like going across the Anoka County line is what it's like. So, yeah, here's a couple more text messages here. This one says, I ain't got no interest in Antetokounmpo whatsoever if we have to give up Jaden or Nas. Wemby's going to be unguardable anyway, so it's not like Antetokounmpo can do anything about that. And Giannis doesn't know how to play without the ball and is bad at shooting. He's always injured, so it's not worth the risk if you have to give up assets. The Bulls just need a guy that can handle the ball a little bit, but also know how to play off the ball, and another guy that can shoot. Yeah, you could make that argument, I guess. But sometimes when you have two guys, I mean, and Antetokounmpo can still shoot. I mean, he's a good player. I mean, he becomes, I think,
he might be able to guard Wemby.
Well, that's it. And what I think too is he is injury prone, but okay. But You could create almost, you would hope, that would be the reason I think you would trade for Antetokounmpo's. It's a pick your poison kind of thing. If you want to shut down Ant, well, then Antetokounmpo's going to score. If you want to shut down Antetokounmpo, Ant's going to score. It's going to be hard to shut them both down. That's why you like two scorers. I think the Splash Brothers were so good. That's a little bit different dynamic, but still, you had two guys that could knock down the three. So it's like, well, if you want to shut down Steph, we got, what was the other guy's name? Clay. You got Clay on the other side of the floor. So you do what you want. How did Tenna do in Wordle today? I failed. I haven't tried Wordle today. I got it in 3 again yesterday. It's either 2 or 3 for me every day now. It seems like.
I did get it, but it was a struggle today.
Really? Don't give anything away. I'm to Wordle like you are to wild games that you can't watch live. Don't tell me. Don't give me any clues whatsoever.
No spoilers.
So let's do this. Let's take a break. I just saw the legendary one lumber into a studio, to Master Control Studio, so he'll join us next. Rosen with Common and 10 to be here on the Brother on the Fan.